Hey, what's up everyone? Adam here with brahwegotthis, and today I want to talk about the traits that you see on weapons, armor, and jewelry. This video has been requested a good bit because a lot of people don't fully understand the traits and how they increase per rarity and which ones are viable and best to use for certain classes. So today I want to explain all of that to you and give you a better understanding so you aren't so overwhelmed or misinformed when it comes to viable traits. Before we get started, I do want to mention again that I always play live on twitch.tv/brahwegotthis on Monday, Tuesday, and Thursday from 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And if you want to join a new and growing community of new and veteran players, you can join my Discord, the Brahwegotthis, and my guild, the Negridites. The links to all those and the Twitch channels in the description. Also on my social media, Instagram and Twitter is there as well in the description. And reminder, this week, I am not streaming just because I'm on vacation for a family vacation we've had planned for a while. So I will be back next week, though. At regular schedule, so I just want to let you guys know that. But let's dive into some traits now. So I'm going to break this down into 4 parts. The first part will be the general overview of the traits themselves. The second part will be how they increase per rarity. So like how much does each trait increase if you have a green item versus a purple item. The third thing is which ones are viable in most builds. And the last thing we'll talk about is researching and transmutation. Timestamps for each part will be below. So first off, there are 9 armor, weapon, and jewelry traits. So the 9 armor traits are as follows. We have sturdy, which reduces the block cost. We have impenetrable, reduces bonus damage taken from a player's critical hits and durability damage. Reinforced, which increases this armor's value. Well fitted, reduces the cost of sprinting and roll dodging slightly. Training, increased experience gained from kills. Infused, increases this item's armor enchantment effect. Invigorating, increases health, magicka, and stamina recovery. Divines, increases Mundus stone effects, and Nirnhond, which increases physical and spell resistance. Now for the weapons, we have Powered, which increases healing done. Charged, which increases the chance to apply status effects. Precise, which increases weapon and spell critical values. Infused, which increases weapon enchantment effect and reduces enchantment cooldown. Defending, increases physical and spell resistance. Training, increased experience from kills. Sharpened, increased physical and spell penetration. Decisive is when you gain ultimate, you have a chance to gain additional ultimate, and Nirnhond increases the damage of this weapon. And then we have the jewelry skills, or the jewelry traits, I should say. And the jewelry traits are as follows. Arcane increases maximum magicka. Healthy increases maximum health. Robust increases maximum stamina. Triune increases health, magicka, and stamina. Infused increases enchantment effectiveness. Protective increases spell resistance and physical resistance. Swift increases movement speed. Harmony increases damage, healing, resource restore, and damage shield strength of synergies you activate. And Bloodthirsty increases damage against low health enemies. Now for the next part, I'm going to talk about how rarity affects the traits. So I'm not going to go into every single exact number for each trait and their rarity. I'm sure there is information out there that has every single one for you. But what I want to first say is that the armor and weapon level has no effect on the trait's value. So if you have a level 4 weapon, so if I go to the dagger here, and I have a level 1 or 4, we could just do level 4 weapon, versus a level 160 or 150 CP weapon, there will be no change if you compare the normal to normal quality. So if you look, right now, if I put the charged status on it, it's going to be 70% on this item. Now, if I go over and I go to CP 150, it's still 70% on the item. Where the traits change is when you increase the rarity of the item through the crafting screen. So if I increase this dagger from normal to fine at level 4, you will see that the charge trait goes from 70 to 80%. So like I said, if I do that, I go to level 4 here. Let's make the dagger. And then let's go to the improvement screen, Iron Dagger. If I improve it, it's going to go to 80%, as you see there, 80%. If I do this at a level CP 150 dagger, you'll see it goes from 70 to 80% as well. So again, go to 150 CP. I make a charged dagger. I go to the improve tab, 150 CP, improve. It now goes to 80% again. This is how to increase the trait's effectiveness. Now, like I said, I'm not going to go through every single exact number for every single trait. But what I will tell you about increasing traits rarity is two things. The first thing is every trait is increased per rarity level by the same incremental value across the board. So I may have lost some of you there. So what I mean by this is, as you see, this charged dagger increases from 70 to 80%, from white to green. That means it will increase 10% every single rarity. So 80 to 90 for blue, 90 to 100 for purple, and 100 and 110 for yellow. So to see what each trait's value will be at each rarity, just take the first value that it increased by and add that one onto the next one and the next one and the next one, and that will get you the value. So again, like I said, this goes from 70 to 80, then from green to blue it goes from 80 to 90, and then from purple will go from 90 to 100, and then so on to yellow. Here's another example. Precise goes from 1.5 to 2, so as you see right here, it says 1.5%. If I make this dagger, I will go to the improvement tab, and it goes from 1.5 to 2%, and then it goes from 2.2 to 2.5%. So, and then it goes to 3 and then 3.5. So hopefully I explained that well enough to you all, but I just want to make sure that you guys know that you can just add those values to each of them and it will go up for every single trait in the game. But the second thing I want to tell you is the sweet spot for rarities for traits. So like I have said in many videos, it is almost never worth it to upgrade every item to yellow. The only items you should upgrade to yellow once you have them at CP 160 and you're going to use them a lot is weapons. Armor can be upgraded to gold eventually. If you have the extra cash or if you want to completely min-max and do that, that's fine. And then jewelry is almost never worth it to upgrade to yellow because jewelry is 300 to 400k gold a piece at least to upgrade to yellow. And here's some reasoning why upgrading armor and jewelry to gold isn't optimal for most people. The increase from purple to yellow isn't going to outweigh the gold you'll need to pay. Your damage output may change slightly or it may not change at all. It won't be enough to justify the amount of money spent. If you're lucky, it may be 3 to 5k more damage on average for about 1.4 to 1.5 mil gold spent on upgrade mats. Is that worth it to you? If it is, then go for it. It's not to me. I only upgrade armor to yellow if I'm going to use it for a while and I have the actual mats already. The only jewelry I have upgraded to yellow was one piece of jewelry, and that was to get an achievement for a die. If you have any questions about this, you can always ask me in Twitch chat or in the comments or in Discord. Now, which traits are viable and used a lot? Now, again, the character that you are building, it is your character. If you want to make a character without the meta traits or desired traits, that's perfectly fine. Just know it will perform less optimal than usual on average. But let's start with the beginner-friendly trait, and that is training. This is a trait that is used a ton to help you level up. I put this on all armor and weapons for all my lower level toons so they can level up a little quicker. The optimal rarity for training armor is usually blue or purple. Do not do yellow unless someone wants to blow a ton of gold. Next, I'm going to go into the DPS armor traits for magicka and stamina. On almost all meta builds, Divine's trait is still the best for all your armor pieces. It's just something that outweighs everything else. For weapons, for magicka DPS, I would say that Precise and Nirnhold and Infused traits are the most used for these classes. For stamina DPS, I would say that Nirnhold or Sharpened and Infused are the most used. For the jewelry on the DPS classes, Bloodthirsty is just freaking baller, y'all. It's so good. For healers, when it comes to armor, I would say Divines again and Infused. For weapons, for healers, Powered and Charged, because Powered increases the healing and Charged increases the chance of status effects, and usually healers will put that on their back bar staff because that is the bar that does the status effects. For jewelry, Arcane trait is used a lot just because it increases magicka. Now again, keep in mind that you can get creative with all of this. This is just the majority of what my builds have been and the builds that I've seen other people use and that the meta uses. So this is, again, something that you guys can always change. Lastly, tank is usually using Infused, Sturdy, and Reinforced traits for armor for the most part. For weapons, usually using Sturdy, Decisive, and Infused traits. And the jewelry is Infused as well for the most part. Also, for PvP, I know that the Impenetrable trait is a huge trait that is desired in PvP. I do not do a lot of PvP, but I do know this just from people that play PvP in my guild. Also, I do want to mention for tanks, I have seen people use different combinations of these and other ones. It is entirely up to you. I just want to show you some of the most common setups. I also want to mention that you'll see two other traits in the game, which are Intricate, which will give you more resources back when you deconstruct it and a lot more experience. And then ornate, which will give you a lot more gold when you sell it to a merchant. The last part of the guide, I want to talk about researching and transmutation. With researching in this game, I have stated this in almost all my videos, I believe, but I talk about how important it is to research on at least one character that you have. Researching takes real life time to complete, and so with researching at first, without putting any skill points into your crafting research skill node for each profession, you will only be able to research one item in each profession at a time. Each successive item you research in a profession will increase the next one. So if you have a research node fully leveled up in crafting, and the amount of time it will take you to research the 9th one and final trait on the item will be around 30 real-time days. 30 real days. So please research early on. You will thank me later, I promise. Researching an item will consume the item and it will be gone. So keep that in mind. You can eventually research 3 items per profession as well. And hey, if you want to check out my beginner crafting video, I'll link that in the description for you all as well. You can decrease research time by using research scrolls you get from the crown store or daily rewards. Now to the transmutation part. So for transmutation, there are 2 places that I know of that you can transmute things. One is in our guild hall right here. You walk down and this is a transmutation table. It looks really pretty. The other one is in Clockwork City. And so you'd have to have the Clockwork City DLC or ESO Plus to access this. But it's at this table right here. There might be another one somewhere else, but this is the other one that I know about. But as you can see, this is the transmutation table. And transmutation is actually pretty simple, guys. It's not too hard to understand, but this is something that is a huge component to the end game of ESO. And if you have ESO Plus, you'll see that in your currencies tab, that's quick slots, currencies, you'll see that I have 132 out of 200 transmute crystals. ESO Plus lets you have 200, you can hold 200 crystals at once. If you don't, it'll be 100. It's not that big of a deal just because you can just use them, but these are shared between all of your characters. And how you get these are, you can get these from doing random daily dungeons or battlegrounds. So for instance, you'll get them if you go up here, go to your dungeon finder, doing these every day on all your characters will get you these. And doing your pledges every day will get you these. And I can link my Undaunted guide as well in the description if you guys want to know about pledges. But you'll get them from that. You'll get them from PvP. You'll also get them from, you can get them just from other things in the world as well. You can get them from trials, I believe, as well. So there's a lot of ways to actually get transmutation geodes. And I'll see if I have any in my inventory. I don't know if I actually have any currently. Let's see. So I don't have any currently in my inventory. But basically, the higher the rarity, the geode, the more you can get in a geode. But what this is this allows you to change the traits of your items, which is really, really nice. Okay, so if you don't want to grind out a ton of gear, then you can grind out, some geodes and get them to change your gear traits. So for instance, if I wanted to change this bow of Vicious Ophidian from charged to sharpened, I would just need to select the bow, select the trait, and it will sharpen it. So what you'll see is when you transmute something, it'll have that symbol up there, that little swirly symbol. That means you've transmuted it. It will cost you 50 crystals per transmute, okay? And when you transmute an item, it will bind it to your account so you can no longer sell the item to other players or give the item to other players. The other thing I want to mention is the only way that you can actually transmute stuff is what we just talked about earlier before this was researching. You cannot transmute things unless you have the trait researched. That is why I say to people to make sure you research on one character, because yes, you can grind out some of this stuff, but you've not grinded yet probably for Burning Spell Weave Inferno Staff. That's taken some people years to get, and it took me a pretty long time to get it too. If you drop that and it doesn't have the trait you want on it, then you don't have the trait. Is it going to make a huge deal? I don't know. It depends, but it's going to be nice to actually have the actual trait on it. So it's nice just to put the time in to research stuff. It doesn't take that long. It just takes real life time to just click a button, research things, because that is how you do it. But that's it, guys. For transmutation, that's it. You just have to have the traits researched. And So this is the character I do everything on with crafting, my main. So I transmute everything for all my characters on here. But that is transmutation. It's really not that difficult to understand. But again, you guys should join our guild because I have one in the guild hall, and we have all these other crafting stations as well. But that's it, everyone. I hope that helped you all out and clarified a bunch of details with the traits in ESO. Let me know again if you have any questions in the comments, Discord, or Twitch chat. Again, you can watch me on Twitch on Monday, Tuesday, and Thursday at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, or you can join our Discord and guild. The links to those and the Twitch channel are in the description. And don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and heavy attack that bell icon to stay up to date of when I release new content, post giveaways, or anything else. Remember to have faith, be great, and I'll see you guys on ESO.